back in Kansas City at NAFB Convention at Trade Talk 2017. I'm with Richard Fordyce. He's the chairman of the Ag Advisory Council. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. And we're talking today about a subject that I know a lot of farmers in our area are concerned about, as well as farmers all across the country. And that is the sustainability of the family farm and passing it on to the next generation, especially when you're looking at the differences in how generations are thinking about things. My generation more technologically advanced than my parents' generation, and it's only getting more and more involved down the line. And a new study out talking about how some of these people coming up that would be succeeding the family farm, how they're feeling about agriculture in general, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So Osborne Barr, which is a communications public relations company whose clients are exclusively have agricultural interests, decided to put together an Ag Advisory Council, and the council's main purpose is to take a look at issues in agriculture that maybe a lot of people aren't looking at, and not get bogged down with like a lot of things to do, but just take one issue, really try to figure that out, come up with some solutions, some ideas about how we can address whatever that issue is. So the very first issue, this is the first issue for the Ag Advisory Council, was understanding the Gen Zers and their desire either to return back home to the family farm, what their perceptions are of agriculture, what's from their viewpoint, what is the future of agriculture here in the U.S. So we did quite a bit of survey work and surveyed young people, so 18 to 22, that are primarily at university, college, trade school kind of environments, that have either been involved in agriculture or currently are. And so the questions ranged from, obviously, the burning one, your desire to return home to the family farm or ranch. What are your perceptions of technology? How are you from a brand loyalty standpoint? And so I think we found some really interesting things. First off, the question of your desire to return home to the farm. 54% of the folks that responded to the survey said that they had a desire to return back to the family operation. So 54%. That leaves 46% of that generation that were surveyed that said no. But the encouraging thing is they found education or a degree in agriculture of value, and they want to stay in the industry. It was just the idea of returning home to the family farm, sporadic incomes, the ability to have a steady paycheck and still be involved in agriculture was something that was desirable to them. So, of all of the folks that were surveyed, almost 100% are going to remain in agriculture, which to me was really encouraging. So 54% said they had a desire to return home to the farm. Well, also we expanded the survey just a little bit and surveyed the next generation or two generations before them. So the mom and dad generation, of that generation, 71% think the kids are coming back home.
So there's definitely a discrepancy.
So there's a discrepancy there, but again, it's encouraging that almost every single one of the respondents want to have a career in agriculture.
Does it look like it's something where they realize that there's that importance, and they, probably deep down they don't want to see the family farm go away, but when you're looking at the sporadic income, the prices, and even a lot of people looking at the startup cost is just insane. Is that a driving factor, you think, in the economics of it?
I think it is. We didn't specifically ask those questions, drill down to that level. That is something that we're probably going to do on some of these topics where we have kind of the high level responses. We want to resurvey some of that and get a better understanding. But certainly, I know it would be. I'm the father of two Gen Zers. One is a senior at the University of Missouri, and one is a sophomore at the University of Missouri. I think they both have a desire to return to the farm, but they also remember, we were just talking about $8 hogs or $4 soybeans. That has not been that long ago, and that is, those take a generation to recover from, and so certainly, one of the things, and this was not in the survey, this is just an observation of mine, working with young people for the last decade or so. This generation is probably understand the issues better than any generation at that age. They understand the issues. They can articulate solutions better, really better than any generation. My kids are way ahead of where I was at that age, and I think a lot of that has to do with technology. You know, they're able to communicate in real time with people across the country or across the world, and have a better understanding of how those things, how all those issues play together. And I mean, I really, this shouldn't be surprising, but I really enjoy talking to my kids about this stuff because I learn from them. So that's pretty encouraging. You know, some other issues that were brought up in the survey is brand loyalty, which again is a departure from kind of the way we think about it. So for example, you know, I have John Deere tractors on my farm. My dad had John Deere tractors. My granddad had John Deere tractors. This generation is not going to be brand loyal to the respect of this is what the family has always done. They're going to search out different places to get information. They find a lot of value in peers, what has worked for them. You know, people that they trust and people that they're comfortable with what they have to say. That's where they're going to get kind of their direction on purchases, which I think is really, really interesting. So
it changes the way the companies are going to have to market.
Oh, I think it absolutely
Definitely,
will.
because like you said, there is no brand loyalty. You can't have that assumption. I mean, I grew up on a farm where if it wasn't green, you painted it green when it came with
That's
machinery.
right.
But you know, the people are doing that more research, that information at their fingertips to get what's going to fit my needs at my budget a lot differently than what we did, you know, even 10, 20 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's interesting. You know, we when you look at making a purchase, you know, I'm 52 years old. If I look at making a purchase, I'm going to look at the brand that I know, that I have the parts for, that I know how to work on, which we really can't work on a lot of that stuff anymore. But and look and see what they offer. I wouldn't even think about going to another brand to see what they offer. So it's a real departure over where we've been, I think, you know, as agriculture producers. You know, it's no surprise either that we found out that this generation, the Gen Zers, are going to be the generation that has the highest degree of adoption of new technology. They're not afraid of it. They understand it. As a matter of fact, they're very, very comfortable with it. So I would expect to see, you know, further investment and development in newer technologies for this generation, which I think is going to be good. It's going to be good for the industry, and it's going to be good for producers. They're very comfortable with biotechnology. They're very comfortable with new advancements, new innovation in agriculture. Certainly to a degree way higher than any generation before. So the survey, and I don't know how many questions we asked, but so when you kind of condense it down and you look at kind of the key indicators of the survey, it was probably 4 or 5 pages of data, right? And so as you go through there, and I found myself when I was really excited to get kind of some of the results back from the survey. As you go through there, I found myself smiling when I was going through there and saying, yeah, some of these things we predicted, and that's probably the results were not surprising. Some of them were surprising, but all in all, it is a very encouraging signal to where this industry is going, and I'm completely confident that these are the future leaders in the industry. Whether it's on a production side, a leadership position, I'm very confident that we're leaving this industry in really good hands.
That was something I was thinking of. You know, even in my generation, a lot of the kids moved away from the family farm because you saw the turbulence in the markets and everything. You know, it's kind of encouraging to see the next half generation almost from me of, you know, they're accepting that this is still viable and there are ways to make it go into the future, and that's a good signal.
Oh, absolutely. And so. I just recently completed a term as Missouri's Director of Agriculture, and I worked very closely and really enjoyed working with FFA young people and 4-H. And we do, I mean, I think and I don't know what the numbers are, and we're going to try to find that out as well, but the group of young people, whether it's in Minnesota or whether it's in Missouri, the group of young people that are committed and passionate about agriculture, that group is getting bigger and larger because, you know, frankly, we're letting more people under the tent. And so if you have if you like science, if you like math, and you've never woke up in the morning on a farm, you can still have a career in agriculture. And you know, those young people are going to be just as important and just as critical to moving the industry forward as those of us that have spent our entire lives on a farm. So I think it's really good news.
All right. Well, I thank you very much for sharing this information with us, Richard.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it, and definitely encouraging news for the future in agriculture.
Thank you, Desmond.
That's Richard Fordyce. He's the chairman of the Ag Advisory Council here on the Farm Show from NAFB and Trade Talk 2017 in Kansas City. We'll be back.